Hear me when you need to hear me. This evening, I want to thank Pat Seymour for helping with the music, with the cantor, and also our assistance with sound as well. The flowers, the Bima flowers, are sponsored by the Brian Leslie Flower Fund, and the Oneg Shabbat this evening is sponsored by Temple Israel Sisterhood. So with all of that in place, I want to, we will start in song with Bechol Dor Vador, the Freedom Song written by Cantor Rochelle Nelson.
Bechol dor vador, bechol dor vador, yahakum hagibur goel ha'am. Bechol dor vador, bechol dor vador, yahakum hagibur goel ha'asham. Freedom is a gift we must cherish always, something to protect, care for and to hold. Freedom can never be taken for granted, something to work for, to fight for and to love. In their days and in their time, a hero arose to save their lives. And in our time and in our days, we look to those to show us God's way. On Hanukkah, we celebrate freedom. Freedom, a victory over many by the few. Courage and bravery and God's Spirit teach us there's so much that we can do. Bechol dor vador, bechol dor vador, yahakum hagibur goel ha'am. Bechol dor vador, bechol dor vador, yahakum hagibur goel ha'am. In their days and in their time, a hero arose to save their lives. And in our time and in our days, we look to those to show us God's way.
At this time, I'd like to invite our President, Mark Lamb, to come forward with some words of welcome.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome everybody to our Shabbat Chanukah this year. And we're looking forward to today's Oneg, sponsored, as the rabbi said, by the Sisterhood Temple Israel. And just reminder, tomorrow, join us tomorrow at Beth David at 9:15 for services and 12:15 for Joseph's Table, Torah study at Joseph's Table. The rabbi will be leading that. I want to wish everyone a wonderful Shabbat, and hopefully we'll have a wonderful, good New Year coming up next week. Shabbat Shalom.
On Shabbat Hanukkah, We light the Hanukkah menorah before we light the Shabbat candles, because once you light the Shabbat candles, you wouldn't be lighting other flames. So it changes the order of what we usually would be doing. I had asked everyone to please bring a Hanukkah menorah if you could, and we have a few people who have. Prior to our lighting the menorahs, and we do the two blessings, which it's number 11 in the Hanukkah song booklet are the candle blessings, so you can turn to that. I would like to share with you words from Rabbi Oded Mazur, who is the rabbi of Kohon Neshama in Jerusalem. These are part of the words that he shared. Of course, he shared them in Hebrew last Saturday evening at the weekly demonstration in Jerusalem in preparation for Hanukkah. And I thought it would help us in framing lighting our Hanukkiyot tonight. Last Shabbat was designated in Israel to be called the Sabbath of the Return of the Captives. But every Saturday night in Jerusalem, as in many other communities and in the place where they come together every Saturday night, there was no need to specially dedicate the Shabbat to pray and cry for the abducted hostages, because every prayer and every Shabbat has been revolving around this horror for 63 Shabbatot. So tonight, Shabbat Hanukkah, is the 64th Shabbat since the hostages were abducted. His words for us to take heart as we prepare to light our Hanukkah candles tonight are these. This week we will light our Hanukkah candles again, and again as we did a year ago, with the frustration that intensified with each day of this year. We will recite the Shehechianu with broken hearts, our voices breaking for all who have not yet returned, and all of those who are no longer. We will recite the blessings for the miracles of those days and cry out against the human actions, the decisions in the hands of our leaders, all that is still not happening at this time, in this time. We will recite who sanctified us with mitzvot and commanded us to kindle the light. And we will light not only the Hanukkah candles, but every candle on our menorah will also be a light of hope, of perseverance, of the highest moral demand, a light of salvation, a light that strives to embrace and illuminate the dimmed and downcast souls of our sisters and brothers in suffering and captivity, of every innocent person whose soul light is threatened by this war. Ner Adonai Nishmat Adam, the light of the eternal, the soul of a person, every person. And he wrote, Halalu, these candles we light on Hanukkah are for true brotherhood and sisterhood, for responsibility, for perseverance, and for insisting on the value of the life of every human being. If we do not do this ourselves in these days and in this time, we will have no right to be ourselves anymore. There will be no point to any of the miracles and wonders that our fathers and mothers, our sisters and brothers, and we ourselves fulfilled on this land and this home. We have come to expel darkness, and we have in our hands the light of love, of peace. Each of us is a small light, and together we are a powerful light. Together we will increase the light in the world and bring everyone home. Everyone. And with those thoughts in mind, I invite you to, those of you who have menorahs, and I have one extra one, so the cantor and I will light one of mine, and I have another one if people would like to light that one as well, to do the blessings with us as we add light and share the light of our Hanukkiyot together. לשבח, תיקום בתפילתי, לשם תודה נזבח, לעת תכין מטבח, מצר המנבח, אז אגמור בשיר מזמור, חנוכת המזבח, אז אגמור בשיר מזמור, חנוכת המזבח. Rock of ages, let our song praise your saving power. You amidst the raging foes were our sheltering tower. Furious they assailed us, but your arm veiled us, and your word broke their sword when our own strength failed us, and your word broke their sword when our own strength failed us. As some of the candles gave us a bit of a hard time being lit, we need to remember that as we use the shamash, that liter candle, to light all of the others, it did not diminish the shamash at all. And so when we share our light in the world, it does not diminish us. It only adds strength and shares that light with others as well. So there are a lot of things out there saying, be the shamash, and offer and shed that light and share that light with the world. So I want to encourage that for you. As this is Shabbat, we will move on to our Shabbat candles. Since I had thought we would have a whole table full of Hanukkah menorahs tonight, we did not have the other candles for lighting for Shabbat this week, since I thought we would have a lot of Hanukkot here. We have several, and the light is beautiful, so we only have the main candles up here tonight. And as we have been doing since a year ago, October, we light 3 candles, for 2 for Shabbat and 1 for the hostages, and continue to light them until all the hostages are released. You'll find the Hanukkah blessings in your prayer book on page 2. We are going to start with Hear My Prayer, which we use quite often on Shabbat. Donna, would you come up as one of the representatives of Sisterhood to light the candles after we do Hear My Prayer?
I don't see the words here. Okay. Oh, hear my prayer, I sing for you. Be helped with the ones I love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear my prayer to you. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Not by might and not by power, by spirit alone shall all people live in peace.
You will find it. It is the number 1 song in the booklet, the first song in the booklet. Not by might, not by power, from the Haftorah for this Shabbat.
Not by might and not by power, but by spirit alone shall we all live in peace. Not by might and not by power, but by spirit alone shall we all live in peace. Ba-da-da-dum, ba-dum. Children sing la-da-dee-da. Children dream. Though their tears may fall, you can hear them call, and another song will rise. Another song will rise. Another song will rise. Not by might and not by power, by spirit alone shall we all live in peace. Not by might and not by power, by spirit alone shall we all live in peace. Not by might, not by power. Shalom.
Our service continues on page 28 with the Baruch Hu. Page 28, please rise.
La la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 la. Barechu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam vaed. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam vaed. La la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la.
We continue on page 33. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol, all these things your Torah gives to us, and the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. We continue with the Shema, page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem
Please be seated. We continue with the V'ahavta, page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
On page 41, sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravaged by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Our hopes and our prayers as we sing Michamocha, coming from that time after the parting of the Red Sea, when Moses and Miriam and all the Israelites rejoiced together again tonight to the melody we already sang to Ma'ot Sur, the traditional way to be singing it on Hanukkah.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Join us. Mi kamocha nedar b'hakodesh nora tehilot
We continue now with the song number 2 in our booklet, This Little Light of Mine. The English you may already know, the Hebrew, Or Sheli Katon Shel Yair Hamon.
Yair Ha'amon Or Sheli Katon Sheyair Ha'amon Or Sheli Katon Sheyair Ha'amon Sheyair Ha'amon. Every night of Hanukkah I'm gonna let it shine. Every night of Hanukkah, I'm gonna let it shine. Every night of Hanukkah, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Or Sheli Katon, Sheyair Ha'amon. Or Sheli Katon, Sheyair Ha'amon. Or Sheli Katon, Sheyair Ha'amon. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
We continue in our prayer books on page 48 as we rise for the tefillah. Page 48.
Adonai, Sefatai tiftach, Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, Sefatai tiftach, Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Oh God, open up my lips that I may give your name. Oh God, open up my lips that I may praise your name. Adonai, Sifatai tiftach, Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, Sifatai tiftach, Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Koneh HaKol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei B'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, V'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Atah Rab V'Hoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid Hagah Hashem, Mechalkel Chaim B'Chesed, Mechayeh HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Sohomech Noflim V'Rofech Oholim, U'Matir Asurim, Umekahayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot, umido mehelach, melech meimi, umekahayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah l'hachayot ha'kol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kedoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Please be seated. We continue with the Hoda'ah prayer. We continue with gratitude and taking these moments to consider those things in our lives that sometimes we overlook, that we just assume and just they're there, to lift up the big and the little things for which there is awe and amazement, for which we can feel appreciative and grateful. So we take this time to think ourselves, and if you would like to share things aloud, we have a microphone in the front to share things for which you feel grateful at this time.
Up now, and he says what he's grateful for. So he texted me because he's on a cruise. So I'll read his gratitude so he's not left out. He said, "My gratitude for tonight. Gratitude for being on this cruise with my family, gratitude for my Temple Israel family, and gratitude and great wishes for the next 6 days of Hanukkah, and wishes to all for a happy new year. Thank you all.
Okay.
Shabbat Shalom. Grateful to be here as always. I'm grateful for the holiday of Hanukkah because it's a time of year that it makes me extra reflective, and yet it makes me hopeful and optimistic of the future, that we get blessings and miraculous things in our life. So I have two things going on in my head at this holiday, but I'm very appreciative of this time. And you know, we have 8 days to be in touch with people. Some of the other holidays, it's less days. So, and I'm already busy at that, being in touch with people I love that celebrate the holiday. So that's what I'm grateful of.
I'm so grateful to have been born into this temple 76 years ago, and my grandparents before me in the 20s. But I'm particularly proud today, and I like to shout out, I hope Linda Datka might be listening, or Larry, because I brought the menorah that my son Leo made in the 90s. Due to their ingenuity, it holds up as good as any other, and there it is.
This may be one of the last.
That's all right.
In terms of
You need
gratitude.
to hold it closer to you so we can hear you better.
Okay, now we're okay. Thank you. This is gratitude of the former members of the temple who have passed over the years, and how important they actually are to us today. And the first one, I didn't know who he was, and I was talking to, I think it was Leonard Abbas, and we were talking about old members of the temple. He said, "Did you know Tobias Simon?" I said, "No." He said he was really quite a man. Tobias Simon personally defended in court Martin Luther King. He tried the first court case against loyalty oaths in the country. The Tobias Simon Pro Bono Award, which is issued by the Supreme Court the state Supreme Court on an annual basis, is named after him. And these are the types of men and women who join Temple. And they join Temple because of us, who come here not in a large group, but they wanted to support Temple Israel. The next one, the next name is, there were a lot, and I'm trying to skip over them, but Marjorie Schillinger, whose yard site is tonight, and Jack Schillinger, whose yard site is next week. Marjorie was a past president of Sisterhood. She was a wonderful, calming influence at Temple Israel, and very loving. When Sisterhood had their events, she would make arrangements at Miami Shores Country Club to have them over there. And she was always there for Sisterhood, and always there for Temple Israel, and always there for her husband. Jack, when he was released from the military after World War II, had a call from his commanding officer wanting to know if he'd wanted to go into business with him. And they went into business, and over time, Jack started his own business, pre-stressed housing products, which he had the patent on and did most of the work for Lennar Corporation. I want to say Marjorie was related to somebody in Lennar, but I'm not sure. And he was the national chairman of cerebral palsy. Regretfully, he had that pain in his family, and Marjorie made sure that his daughters would be safe after they passed. And he was a very, very kind man. He had macular degeneration, yet he and his attendant would go on the Everglades for photography, and some of the most beautiful photography that you can imagine. So I'm grateful to him and for what he offered to Temple Israel. A good feeling at Board of Trustees meetings of one quick story. When Rabbi Neret passed away, there was discussion about Cantor Bornstein having a pension fund. He never had one. And there was an argument in the boardroom, whether he should have a pension fund. And so Mr. Kahn raised his hand. He said, "I just want you to know, if you don't give him a pension fund, I'm going to open my own temple on 41st Street. And Jack Schillinger raised his hand and said, "I'm going too." And that took care of that. There are so many names tonight. And then I have to mention Rabbi Zwitman, who was dearly loved by the congregation and died from some type of tropical disease in the in the war. Yeah, he apparently was a wonderful man. And the last one is my dad. Tonight is his yard site. And I remember his first words when Rabbi Neret asked Peter Ramon to invite me to be on the board. I told him, and Dad said, "Just keep your mouth shut because everybody knows more than you do." And I didn't listen to him. So I'll leave it at that. But I've been thinking about him all week. And I miss all of them. Thank you.
Thank you. Come on up. Wait, if you don't speak up here, people can't hear you who aren't in the room.
I just wanted to say my gratitude to Sisterhood and all the ladies that are here and gentlemen. My gratitude to Rabbi Barber, that has been so grateful to me. Thank you.
I would love to express gratitude for having a wonderful family. My baby sister is sitting over there, Eve, and 9 years younger than me, but we look the same. Anyway, it's just it's if not for the glasses. But, she always would tell people that, I helped raise her. Well, as the years have gone on, she has also helped raise me. And so I love you very much, sis.
The Hoda prayer takes on a special significance this evening because the special insert for Hanukkah comes in this prayer. So if you'll turn in your prayer books to page 264, Al Hanisim, the beginning of it, is the part that we'll be singing. But I think it's good to look at the rest of the text too, because it's about the story of Hanukkah, about the days of the Hasmoneans and the story of what happened and how they were able to be victorious and be able to have the 8 days of Hanukkah to acknowledge, praise God's name. They were able to purify everything and it was the last time we had political independence until 1948. I wrote about that in my blog this week. If you get the weekly email, you can click on there to the full blog that is on the website. And also wrote about the Nova Festival exhibit, which is in North Miami, which we have the opportunity to see throughout January. And but it's both about the past and it's also about the present. Al Hanisim on page 264.
I הניסים ועל הפורקן ועל הגבורות ועל התשועה ועל המלחמות שעשית לאבותינו ואימותינו בזמן הזה. על הניסים ועל הפורקן ועל הגבורות ועל התשורה ועל המלחמות שעשית לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה. על הניסים ועל הפורקן ועל הגבורות ועל התשועה ועל המלחמות שעשית באמותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה.
We continue now with our silent prayers, our own individual prayers.
יהיו לרצון אמרי-פי והגיון ליבי לפניך. יהיו לרצון אמרי-פי והגיון ליבי לפניך. אדוני צורי וגואלי, אדוני צורי וגואלי. יהיו לרצון אמרי-פי והגיון ליבי לפניך. May the words I say and the things that I feel be embraced by you, my parent, my God, my friend.
At this time in our service, we offer a prayer for healing to those in need of our prayers at this time. You will find the Misha Berach prayer in your prayer books on page 253. And after I read a couple lines, I will pause, and if you have names you'd like to add for our prayer list, I invite you to do so at that time. I'll look around in your direction, and everyone will have that opportunity to share. There are those whose names we share aloud and those whose names we share in our own hearts. And then we will sing the Misha Berach prayer together. O God, in our hearts we name those who are facing illness and pain, and we join our prayers with the prayers of all who love them. Okay. To add to our prayer list tonight, Peter Yarrow, who wrote Light One Candle, entered hospice care just this last week, and so I want to add his name to our prayer list as well, as we will be singing Light One Candle later this evening from Peter, Paul, and Mary. Give them renewed comfort and courage, and strengthen in them the healing powers you have placed within us all. Guide the hands and hearts of those who are entrusted with their care. May the knowledge of your love and ours give added hope to them and to their dear ones. May they find even greater strength because our prayers are linked with theirs. Baruch atah Adonai Rafeh HaChalim, we praise you, God, the source of healing and health, as together we sing.
Amen. Mishmeirach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Hu Yevarech v'Yirapeh et HaCholim Refana la, Elna refana la, Elna refana la, Elna refana la, Mishbeirach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah, Hu Yevarech, v'Yirapeh et HaCholim, Hu Yevarech, v'Yirapeh et HaCholim.
Before I share the story I want to share with you this evening, it's about a Hanukkah menorah. And it seems to me, since I don't have any little children here to light the one in front of us that also is a creation of Linda Dotko, so she's here in two different menorahs, I thought I would ask Rennick and Mark and Sarah if you would come up to light this menorah in the front.
Don't burn yourself, Sarah.
I think it's brilliant that, you know, it's big and that it's for those who can't use flames yet, but since everyone here could, and I was holding off. Felt incomplete that we didn't have it done, but I was waiting in case we had small children who came. I wanted to have them have the opportunity. So, you know, well, we're going to do some Hanukkah songs a little bit later, too. So the story I want to share with you, do any of you go antiquing? Anyone go here antiquing? So this is a story about an antique store and a small Hanukkah menorah that was in that antique store. And that menorah had been in the store for many, many months. And it had been there so long, the owner of the store had really forgotten about it. The menorah was never dusted, polished, or even wiped from getting the cobwebs off of it. And as it got dirtier and dirtier, it had more cobwebs between the fingers. And so eventually the menorah was put on a high top shelf. And from there, the menorah could spot and watch everything that happened in the store. Every time the bells over the door jiggled, the little menorah would look to see a customer come in and wander, admiring the many beautiful objects. And every so often, there would be a big gasp from a customer, and they'd fall in love with something, and then they couldn't live without it, and they would take it home with them. But no one ever gasped when they saw the menorah. In fact, most people never noticed the little thing because it was so high up and it was so covered with dust, and nobody wanted that little menorah, so the little menorah was very sad. And as the weeks passed, the menorah got sadder and sadder, and when it was sad, it tried to hide in a corner. And from where it was, it hid, it could watch all the other candlesticks being sold and carried out by its new owners. And it seemed people bought every kind of candlestick, big ones and little ones and brass and silver. Some were one candle, some held 2 or 3, and some even held 7. But no one even looked at the little menorah that had 9 candles, or spaces for candles, and it just sat in the corner all alone feeling sad. Until one day, when the door jiggled, the menorah peered out from that place and was startled because it saw the biggest candle holder it had ever seen. And this enormous candle holder had 9 places just like it did. So the little menorah was very excited and looked at that new candle holder, and it must have been 4 feet high, and its arms stretched 3 feet across. And it looked very beautiful and proud, standing tall and straight, and the little menorah just stood there and looked all day long. And as soon as the owner of the store left for the night, that little menorah slid from behind the plate and called out, "Hey, you over there?" Then the large menorah looked around and finally spotted the little dusty, cobweb-covered menorah that was sitting up high, and the large menorah smiled and they began to talk. And the little menorah said, "I've been in this store for months, but you are the first candle holder I have seen that looks like me, with 9 candle holders in it, 8 the same height, and 1 which is taller. Why is that? Why are we different?" So the large menorah stood quietly for a moment and before it began to speak. A long time ago in a land far from here, there lived a people whose nation was under foreign rule. In time, the foreign rulers became crueler and they forced the people to adopt a new religion, but the people would not have it. They believed in freedom and that no one could force another how to think or to believe. And they tried everything to convince the foreign rulers that freedom was important to them, but nothing worked. So finally, from among the people, a small army arose who was willing to fight for freedom. And because of their courage, their dedication, and the belief that what they were fighting for was right, they eventually won. And after winning the war, these people rededicated their temple, and they held a celebration that lasted for 8 days. Pretty good summary, right? "Wow," said the little menorah, "I never knew the story before." "And that's not all," continued the large menorah. "Ever since then, about 2,000 years, the Jews have celebrated the victory of their ancestors with the lighting of candles for 8 nights. You and I are the special candle holders which they use for those 8 nights." "Nah, really?" "For sure. I'm really glad that you told me all of this. I was beginning to feel pretty strange around here, and I couldn't figure out why it was so different. But one question, it all sounds very good, but if this celebration lasts for 8 days, why do we have 9 places for candles?" "You are a very observant little one," answered the large menorah. "The extra candle holder, which is taller than the rest, is for the special candle called the shamash, which is lit first and used to light the other candles." "That's amazing," said the little menorah. "I didn't know that being different could be so exciting. I've been so sad." "Remember," said the large menorah, "always keep your head high and your arms outstretched, because we are very important. The shamash is your most important candle holder. It is the one that really helps to light the way. We help Jews to celebrate their holiday of freedom and of courage." So a strange thing happened after that. The shopkeeper noticed that little menorah, or maybe knew the time of year and knew it was time to get it ready, because he reached it, took it from the shelf, and gave it a good polishing. Now the menorah was clean and shiny, and it stood tall and proud, knowing why it was different. The small menorah was placed next to that larger one. And that same afternoon, 2 children came into the store, noticed the sparkling menorah, and bought it right away. Taking it home, they placed it in the center of a large room table, and the little menorah was proud to be part of that celebration. And there it stood with its head high and its arms outstretched. Just like that little menorah, we must stand with our heads high, open our eyes, and use our gifts and our voices to be a light in the darkness. Shabbat Shalom and Happy Hanukkah. We are going to sing a number of different Hanukkah songs. We sang some last week. We're not repeating much. We're really going to cover a variety. There's always so many songs. It's always this thing, how do we pick what ones to do and when to do them? So we are going to start with song number 14 tonight, Ocho Candelicas, in Ladino.
Okay, you have to get in the right mood. Hanukkah linda está aquí, 8 candelas para mí. Hanukkah linda está aquí, 8 candelas para mí. Everybody, oh, una candelica, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí. Muchas fiestas fazer, con alegrías y placer. Muchas fiestas fui fazer, con alegrías y placer. Una candelicas, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicos, 4 candelicos, 5 candelicos, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí. Los pastelicos voy a comer con almendricas y la miel. Los pastelicos voy a comer con almendricas y la miel. Oh, ya baba, ya baba, ya baba. Una candelica, 2 candelicos, 3 candelicos, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicos, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicos, 8 candelas para mí.
We're going to continue now with Who Can Retell Mia Malel, song number 13. You can just flip the page.
I feel like I'm on the radio listening to that wonderful broadcaster that stops and tells us the songs that are the most popular from the 1950s and the 1960s.
Well, that's tradition. Some of these we don't sing as much anymore, but many of us grew up with them. And if we don't sing them, then the next generations don't hear
That's
them
right, then
either.
they go away. And there's so many new ones. Mi Malel Gevurot Yisrael Otan Mi Yimne En Bechodor Yakum Hagibor Goel Ha'am. Let's sing it again. Mi Malel Gevurot Yisrael Otan Mi Yimne En Bechodor Yakum Hagibor Goel Ha'am. Shema בימים ההם בזמן הזה מכבי מושיע ופותם ובימינו כל עם ישראל יתאחד יקום להיגאל. Who can tell the things that befell us? Who can through deed and sacrifice. What chord should that be? V'yimalel gevurot Yisrael otami yimne hen bechol dor yakum hagibor goel ha'am. Aha! At this time of year in days of yore, Maccabees the temple did restore, and today all people as we dreamed will arise, unite, and be redeemed. Mi yimalel gevurot Yisrael otami yimne hen bechol dor yakum hagibor goel ha'am.
If you'll turn over to song number 16, Chanukah, Chanukah.
Chanukah, 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 Chag yafe kol kach, or chaviv misaviv gilei yeled rach. Chanukah, Chanukah, sevivon sof sof, sof sof sof, sof sof sof, hayamim matov. Chanukah, Chanukah, happy holiday. Light the lights for 8 nights, everyone's okay. Chanukah, Chanukah, games for everyone. Dreidel spin, lose or win, come and join the fun.
There was sometimes some fairly lame English versions of it, so that one Jeff Klepper just
Thank
did
you
a
for
few
that.
years ago. So you can, the melody's fun, but having good English. So with the last one we're going to do is the Hanukkah Catch. It's number 15 right above there. We're going to try a 3-part thing again. I
Oh,
think,
boy.
Well, we'll at least sing all 3 parts, even if we don't do it all as a round. We may do it in 2 parts, so we may go through like. Well,
That's
after
right,
we
Jim.
learn
I
it
might
all-
invite you up again.
But
you
you'll
better be
start and
listening.
Go through it, and then I'll start and go through it. So at least get it
Okay,
goes around.
let's get the whole 3 lines
Yeah.
and then we'll see what we can do. Candles burning all night long. Chanukah, oh Chanukah. Judah, Judah, Maccabee fought the Greeks to make us free. Minno, 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 Norah. Minno, 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 no. One more time. Candles burning all night long. Chanukah, oh Chanukah. Candles burning all night long. Chanukah,
Greeks to
oh
set us free. Minno,
Judah,
minno,
Judah,
minno,
Maccabee
minno,
fought the
minno,
Greeks to
minno,
set
no.
us free. Minno,
Candles
minno,
burning
minno,
all night
Norah.
long.
Minno, minno,
Hanukkah, oh
minno,
Hanukkah.
Norah.
Judah, Judah,
all night long.
fought the Greeks to set us free. Minno,
Judah,
minno,
Judah,
minno,
Maccabee
minno,
fought the Greeks to set us free.
Everyone, menorah.
Minno, minno, Norah. Minno, 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 Norah.
We are going to continue in our prayer books with the Aleinu, page 282. Please rise, page 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of every people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. At this time, we read the name of one who died during the past month, Jennifer Lambden, and we read the names of the following people whose yard sites occur at this time. When I read the name of your loved one, please rise. Irene Abel, Leopold Ackerman, Martin Aronson, Herman Blumberg, Joseph A. Brower, Ruth Bronstein, Albert Kasselhoff, Edward L. Cohen, Irene Kahn Davis, Rebecca Droshnikov, Sarah Riva Elson, Evelyn Koppelman Enfield, Adele I. Esner, Anne Feinberg, Pearl Finkelstein, May Finkelstein, Shirley Fleming, Bennett Glazer, E. Max Goldstein, Ida Goodman, Henry E. Green, Eugene Greenfield, Jerome Greenwald, Eugenio Gross, Joseph Gruschow, Edith S. Gruschow, Claire H. Gasso, Desmond B. Hayes, Albert I. Jacobs, Julius L. Jacobstein, Ella Kuttner, Juanita Levin, Harold Lewis, Julie Lind, Bessie P. Lovitz, Joseph Dalton McKelvey, Anne Mortensen, Paula Pearl Nestor, David Pollock, Jack Julius Roush, Harry Robinson, Minnie Hoffman Ross, Sidney J. Rudolph, Sari Sapiro, Rose Scherer, Marjorie Schillinger, J. Allen Siegel, Pauline Siegel, Jacob Silverman, Tobias Simon, Henry Sprintz, Kate Tomar, Anita Treister, Arthur Warren, Julian I. Winkle, Joseph Weintraub, Marjorie Wine, Henry E. Wolf, Leon Ubis, Rabbi Coleman A. Zwitman. I invite everyone to please rise as we recite together the words of the Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, B'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayachon uvyomechon uv'chayet chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imeru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mivarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya, Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yit hadar v'yit alev v'yit halal, Shemei dekudusha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, ta'amiran bi'alma v'imeru, Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imeru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mamav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imeru, Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, and together we say, Amen. Please be seated. We will be asking everyone to join us up here for Kiddush and Motzi, and then we will be singing at the end of that Light One Candle, which you will find at song number 6 in the booklet. I am assuming everyone needs the words, even if we're not doing all the verses. But again, this was written by Peter Yarrow and performed and recorded by Peter, Paul, and Mary, amongst others. And we don't want to let light go out, so there are a lot of themes about light. We also, following our services, a lot of different dreidel games out there. There's adult dreidel games, kid dreidel games, all different things. So there are papers you can take with you if you want to do other kinds of things with dreidels during the rest of Hanukkah. They're on a small rectangular table. There are dreidels on each of the tables. There's gelt around. So,
And Rabbi,
have
don't
fun.
forget the food. There's really good food out there.
Of course. Well, the Oneg Shabbat
As in
always...
chocolate cake.
Also, the Oneg always has food, but we don't always have games, and we figured part of Hanukkah was to have games as well. So there are dreidels and some gelt around the tables in the basic game, but there are a bunch of other options and opportunities for games, and there are copies. You can just take them to play around with them at home, or if you don't want to do it here tonight. So we wanted to offer you that too, to add to your celebration for the rest of Hanukkah as well. And we have the serious side and the fun side and putting it all together. So please come up. We have grape juice. It's juice. We have enough for everybody to have a cup of juice for Kiddush. And words for Kiddush are on page 5 in the prayer book. And then light one candle is song number 10.
A festival. Do we do a festival? Do we do a festival melody tonight? Okay.
Actually, if I need to see anything, I'll have to use it.
Oh, okay. Do you want to hold the mic? Oh.
I was going to... We spread them.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kitshanu b'mitzvot. Keep coming in. Eratzavanu. Let's get
There's
closer.
lots of room up here for everyone to come
Shabbat. Bi'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
I don't know if we have enough for everyone to have a piece, or if we might have to ask some couples to share, but we should have enough for everybody.
I think so. Just to the very end. Baruch atah. Oh, not yet. Not yet. Special puppy. Oh. I Is she just unbelievably delicious?
We're passing the
Can't
challah
stand it.
around for making
She's
motzi,
just
and
is
then we'll
unbelievable.
sing light one candle and then
She's
head
so
out
much
to
my
the
mother. She has her joy. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'tei avon. Well, that's for you. Keep it going. Light one candle
for the
Maccabee children. Give thanks that their light didn't die. Light one candle for the pain they endured when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice justice and freedom demand. And light one candle for the wisdom to know when the peacemaker's time is at hand. Everybody, don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. Go down to the last verse where it starts with what is memory. What is the memory that's valued so highly that we keep it alive in that flame? What's the commitment to those who have died that we cry out they've not died in vain? We have come this far, always believing that justice would somehow prevail. And this is the promise, and this is why we will not fail. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. Go to the very end. Don't let the light go out. Don't let the light go out. Don't let the light go out. Happy Hanukkah. Good
Happy
Shabbos.
Hanukkah. Please join us in the foyer and outside for the Oneg Shabbat.
Shabbat shalom. Thank you.